Hi there folks, Spencer Remple, the Moose Whisperer here. I just have to show you this incredible footage you see playing behind me. This is bucket list footage I took 2 years ago at Arviat, Nunavut. Plus, I got to meet a local conservationist and wildlife educator who tells us all about this giant caribou herd. As well, I got to watch a local hunter field dress a caribou, and this Inuit man can do it faster than anyone I've ever seen. Check it out folks, this is Canada's North.
Hi, my name is Jason Curley. I live in Arviat, Nunavut. The caribou we have is the Qamanirjuaq caribou herd, and the estimated numbers is roughly close to 300,000 in numbers. They migrate up north in the springtime, and then they migrate back south and then to the west in late summer, some of them right now, and then they'll be heading west once the weather gets colder. The caribou usually come by the traditional route, which is close to Arviat, just west of here. Some years it's going right through near town, and some years they're going a little bit further west. And this time of the year, people harvest, try to harvest the male caribou. You know, the females just had their calves recently. They migrate roughly 250, 275 miles north of here, and then they travel back down and west, and then they go roughly 500, 600 miles west from here to the NWT side.
And that would be their wintering grounds?
That would be their wintering grounds. Some of the caribou stay behind over here. We call them resident caribou.
Oh, yeah.
And then we hunt those all year round throughout the whole winter. In the fall time, we try to harvest the older female, which cannot calve anymore, which is also really good meat, a lot of meat on them. Fall time, also the bull caribou before the rut. The fat is the delicacy as well, because the caribou meat is very, very lean. There's no fat content in the meat, so you got to substitute it with either the fat or the bone marrow. Yeah. In the springtime, people also harvest caribou by snowmobile, heading out by snowmobile while there's snow. And again, the females are pregnant, so the people try to leave the pregnant females and again try to go for the older females that are not pregnant, as well as some of the bull caribou and the younger bull caribou. So different season of the year, you can harvest both male and the female, but people prefer to get the bull caribou and the young bulls most of the time. And different times of the year, you know, again for the bone marrow content and for they kind of utilize everything, the bones and the tendons and everything else. They cook all that together and get the what you call like a homemade lard type or the broth. And you can also have that with the dried caribou meat in the springtime. So we sun dry the caribou meat, which is also very lean. So again, you got to substitute it with some kind of a fat content with your diet.
Adding that in.
Yeah, they'll break the bones down, hammer them down, crush them a little bit, then they boil them for half a day, you know, several hours, and you get all the oils and the fat from all the bones and the bone marrows and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and also for the harvesting of the caribou, from I would guess mid-August right through to November. They harvest the caribou for the fur, for the hide, for clothing. Late summer, early fall, they're really good for clothing as parkas, pants, boots, mitts, and so on. But later on in the fall time, their fur is much thicker, and that's when they start to use them for a mattress in their tents, because we need the fur and the hide for the winter time. It's really cold in the winter time.
Insulate from the...
Yeah, insulate from the snow. We actually put 2 hides inside the tent. One first layer fur down, and the next layer fur up. and then you can put your mattress or your sleeping bags on top, and that keep the cold out and the warm in with the 2 layers of the caribou. Yeah. And if the caribou hide is too thick, it's really stiff for clothing. So that's why they get them in the late summer, earlier in the season.
Oh yeah,
So-
it's softer.
Yeah, a lot less for easy to work with, and it's much more flexible. Because a lot of the modern materials, if you use them in the tent and during the storms and so on, they tend to get wet, and you got to take the time to dry them. And when they get wet, you get chilled. With the caribou fur and the animal fur, you can just brush off the snow, and even if it's raining, you can, just kind of brush off the rain a little bit, and then it dries much quicker. Even if it's wet a little bit, it is still stay warm, just like wool is.
Oh yeah.
Wool comes from sheep,
Yeah.
and then even in wet, when it's wet, it's still warm, right?
Oh,
Same thing with the caribou and the animals up here. So, yeah.
Oh, it's a real pleasure to run into you, and I sure thank you for taking
Yeah, no
taking
problem.
that time with me. I really appreciate it.
Come by the office anytime. You're welcome anytime, and happy to talk
you.
some of this stuff.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Good times here in Arviat. Thanks for watching.